Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we're at Disneyland to share with you 12 tips that only the pros know. So let's get going. If you haven't been to Disneyland in a few years, something you may not know is that as of April 30th, 2021, reservations are required to visit Disneyland. This makes coming to Disneyland on a whim a little harder than it used to be. Before, you just buy a ticket, show up at the park, and if it wasn't at capacity, you could get in. Now you need to make a reservation. This lets Disney know how many people to expect to be coming into the park, and reservations are limited, so they can run out, and they frequently do. That doesn't mean that it's impossible, because there's still reservations open for some days next week, but other days are already blocked out. Some days one park is blocked out, but the other is not. So what happens if you really want to go to Disneyland, you only have one day and Disneyland is blocked out that day? Well, if Disney California Adventure is open, you can book one for Disney California Adventure, buy a park hopper ticket, and then at 11 a.m. you can hop over to your preferred park of Disneyland. This is actually a recent change here at the Disneyland Resort. It used to be that hopping time was at 1 p.m. So now it's at 11 a.m. It makes it so much better for you. You can go and have lunch at the other park if you are not starting at your preferred park. But something that you need to be aware of is that you need to be scanned into your starting park at least for 30 minutes before you can hop. Our next Disneyland tip that only the pros know is that ticket prices vary by day. Now, back in 2016, Disneyland instituted a tiered pricing system in order to alleviate crowds during the busiest times of years and spread them out to the slower times of year so that there really wasn't a slow period here at Disneyland. What you might not have known is that you can use these pricing tiers both to save some money when you visit Disneyland and also to gauge crowd levels. On the high end of those pricing tiers is Tier 6, which currently is $179 a person. If you're coming on one of those Tier 6 days, you can bet that Disney is anticipating high crowd levels in order to maximize their profit. If you plan to come during one of the lower tiers, Disney is expecting lower crowds, and they're hoping that the lower ticket price will get more people to come and visit. To save even more money on your Disneyland vacation, book with Getaway today. You can give them a call or click the link down in the description. It'll take you to their website and you can check out their discounted packages. Right now, they're offering an extra night free, and if you use my coupon code, you'll save an additional $10 off their already discounted packages. Let's talk about special events for a moment. So, if you come to Disneyland, be aware that there are special events going on all the time. These events range from Princess Night to Star Wars Night, Oogie Boogie Bash, Throwback Night, Grad Night. They have a ton of them, and they're all throughout the year. The important thing to remember about these is that they are extra ticketed events. That means that you have to pay an additional cost, usually in the $100 range, $125, $135 range, in order to come to these special events. On these special event nights, though, they will close the park early for these special ticketed events. That means that they kick out all the regular guests who haven't paid the extra dollars. The real kicker here is that you are going to pay the same price to come to Disneyland on one of those grad nights or, anything as you would any other time, but you're still going to lose out on those 4 hours. So be aware when you're booking your trip to come to avoid things like grad nights. Our next tip that only the pros know is that 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. is the best hour to ride some rides. This is a personal favorite tip of mine that I always share here on the channel, and I call that hour the golden hour. As you see behind me here on Main Street, there is a constant flow of people coming into the park, and that just continues throughout the day. So the longer it goes in the day, the more people there are in the park. But right at Rope Drop, there are a couple of rides that you should avoid, and these are going to be the most popular attractions. Everybody, and I mean everybody, goes to Indiana Jones, Rise of the Resistance, Peter Pan's Flight, Space Mountain, and Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Those 5 rides is where everyone is going. Over at DCA, they're headed to Guardians of the Galaxy and Radiator Springs Racers. If you get in line for one of these rides, you will lose the entire golden hour standing in line for that ride, or most of it, because these lines get instantly long. What rides should you head for at Rope Drop? These are going to be rides that have 5-minute waits first thing in the morning, but routinely get up to an hour a little bit later on in the day. We're talking about rides like Pirates of the Caribbean, Haunted Mansion, Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, Toy Story Midway Mania, and Spider-Man Web Slingers. Those are going to be the attractions that you want to rope drop and then enjoy other low wait time attractions first thing in the morning. Whether you're coming to Disneyland for your first visit, birthday, anniversary, or you're just celebrating a promotion at work, Disneyland offers free pins that you can get for the occasion. Behind me is one such location where you can get those. You can get them at guest services as well as other stores like Pioneer Mercantile. Just go in there, walk up to the cashier, ask them for a pin, tell them what you're celebrating. They'll even personalize them for you. We went in there today and got one for celebrating reaching 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you guys so much. If you have not yet subscribed, hit that like button in this video and then subscribe for more Disneyland content. If it's your birthday, definitely go in there and get a pin. Birthdays, especially if you're wearing a birthday pin, every single cast member that sees that pin in the park, or nearly every single one, will wish you a happy birthday, and sometimes even some magic happens. Have you ever showed up to a theme park and the one attraction that you really wanted to do was closed when you arrived? Yeah, that's a pain that we all feel. But did you know that Disneyland publicly posts its refurb schedules? Of course, behind me is Tarzan's Treehouse, going to be renamed the Adventureland Treehouse, which is currently closed for refurbishment. They're updating it, but there have been a lot of rides lately that have been closed, like Indiana Jones just reopened on March 17th, not too long ago. And over at DCA, the Silly Symphony Swings is still currently closed for refurbishment as well. Disneyland posts all of their refurbishments online. If you check their hours and events calendar for the day that you're going to be visiting or the week that you're going to be visiting. And then at the bottom, there is a closed for refurbishment. If you just click it, it'll open up and it'll show you every single ride, attraction, and show, restaurant, etc. that is planned to be closed for that day for refurbishment. For instance, like if you really absolutely want to ride Haunted Mansion and you do not want to miss it on your trip to Disneyland, do not visit the last week of August. It's guaranteed to be closed as that ride is being transitioned into Haunted Mansion Holiday. They do the same thing with It's a Small World towards the end of October. They get it all closed and switched over for the Christmas season for It's a Small World holiday. So those types of things you want to be mindful of when booking your Disneyland vacation. Did you know that you can tour Walt Disney's apartment here at Disneyland? It's located in the Disneyland Fire Department behind me. Disneyland just recently opened a tour called Walt's Main Street Story and allows you to go inside Walt's apartment. Actually get in there and see it. It's a 90-minute tour on a personally guided tour with a Disneyland cast member up and down Main Street to see Main Street USA through Walt Disney's eyes. You'll learn special Disney secrets, and again, you'll get to go in Walt Disney's apartment right there. So it's something to check out, especially if you're looking to upgrade your experience here at Disneyland. A lot of people don't know this, but you can actually bring your own food into Disneyland. This is a pretty finicky subject when it comes to theme parks. They won't allow you to bring in outside food, but Disneyland actually does. You can go to McDonald's across the street on Harbor Boulevard, grab some lunch, bring it over here. They even have picnic tables for this exact purpose, which are located behind me. Looks like they've also got some lockers back there, but they've got loads of picnic tables in here. They want you to come over in here and have a picnic with your family. Bring in food if you want to. It's a way to save some money at Disneyland. Of course, Disneyland does have amazing food, so I'm not telling you not to eat the food at Disneyland, but if you're watching your dollars, this is a great way to consider doing that. Bring in some outside food. You can also pack food from home, sandwiches, snacks, things like that, no problem. The only stipulation, according to their website, is that it can't be in glass containers. It can't require reheating, because they're not going to let you use a microwave or anything like that. It also can't require refrigeration, because it's going to spoil, that sort of thing. You can't bring in large coolers and all that sort of stuff. Our next tip is to not forget where you parked. If you are driving to Disneyland, especially if you are going to the Mickey and Friends or Pixar Pals parking structure, you're going to want to make sure that you did not forget where you parked. It's 6 stories. There are 2 sides. It's the same structure. One half is Mickey and Friends, one half is Pixar Pals. It's very easy to get lost in there. You can take a picture of the pole. There's poles all over with a specific number and letter. You can use these to gauge where your car is located. Take a picture of that. Better yet, use the Disneyland app's new feature called Car Locator. It'll ask you when you first get there if you'd like to use it. If you have the app downloaded, then you just scroll through, you pick the number and the letter that is next to your vehicle, and then whenever you step into the Esplanade on your way out, or even if you're just trying to hop the park, the app will be like, are you ready to go back to your car? It's very enthusiastic. If you hop 2 or 3 times throughout the day, it'll ask you every time you hit the Esplanade. Don't know how it knows, guess it's GPS, but it'll remind you that you can open the Car Locator to find your car. Worst case scenario, just honk your horn when you get close. you set off the alarm, you'll be able to find your car. Our next tip that only the pros know is that you don't need to stay on property. You absolutely can stay at a good neighbor hotel and still have a great experience. If you're used to going to Walt Disney World, you're going to be tempted to think that you have to stay on property to get the fullest experience, and that's just not the case out here at the Anaheim parks. Disneyland has only 3 branded hotels: the Grand Californian Hotel, which is behind me, the Disneyland Hotel, and the Paradise Pier Hotel. However, just outside the park, there are a ton of amazing hotels called Good Neighbor Hotels. These places have better amenities, free breakfast, and more. You should consider checking them out. Some of them are closer to the parks than the Disneyland Hotel and many of these others. I know, how can you get much closer? But you can. Like the Best Western Park Place Inn is one that I highly recommend. As a comparison, I would never dream of staying off property at Walt Disney World. I absolutely love staying on property and would never suggest that you stay off property there. Here, it's just the opposite. Our next tip is to expect rides to break down. I have been tracking wait times at Disneyland for the last 2 weeks in preparation of putting together a video for you all about having the perfect day at Disneyland with minimal wait times, and I have noticed that a lot of rides have been broken lately in my research. On our last visit, Rise of the Resistance broke down on us while we were waiting in line, which admittedly is not that unusual for Rise of the Resistance. When it does break down, expect that it'll take between 40 and 60 minutes for them to fix whatever is broken down. They have to turn the system off and reboot it, and it takes that long. You can choose to wait in line. A lot of people abandon the line, which means that you're that much closer to the front. When we got in line, it said it was a 60-minute wait. For us, it was probably closer to a 80 to 90 minute wait after the breakdown. But also we got in line for Space Mountain and it broke down on us that same day. We waited 25 minutes and when it didn't reopen, we just abandoned the line. So there are a lot of breakdowns here at Disneyland lately. If you still don't believe me, fellow vlogger Fresh Baked recently covered this very topic of all the breakdowns in a recent news update. So what's the bottom line here? Well, expect rides to break down, be pleasantly surprised when they don't, and bring your patience for when they do. Speaking of things that you should pack for your trip to California, make sure to bring a poncho, especially if you're planning on riding rides like Splash Mountain behind me and Grizzly River Run over at Disney California Adventure Park. But also bring an umbrella, and I know it doesn't really look like it today, but California has been getting a high number of rain days. We've had 45 days of rain this rain year, which may not sound like a lot to you, but just to put that into perspective, it is the 10th wettest year on record since the 1800s. Yes, it has been pretty wet. Maybe not necessarily in the amount of rain, but in terms of number of days that have had rain, there have been a lot. So plan for some wetness here in California, and I don't know when it's going to end. Us Californians really want to keep this sunshine here to stay. So make sure that you bring an umbrella. If you wanted a better idea of some more items that you didn't know you needed at Disneyland, go ahead and click this video. It'll have some more helpful tips for you. Thanks for watching. Hit the like and subscribe button for more Disneyland content, and we will see you again next time.